Hey, so remember on Tuesday when I said that I'd be covering King of Fields 95 number 3 today? Yeah, well, about that. Maesuma Top 13 happened this past weekend, and it was one of the first majors that Japan has had since Kagaribi 10, one of the biggest tournaments of this year. Tons of Japanese players from all across the country came together to battle it out, and for the most part, you will recognize the majority of these names. That is, except for one. There's one player who we're going to be talking about near the very end, who went on a massive breakout performance at Maesuma Top 13. Is this player the outlier, the wild card, the new Japanese prodigy? Let's find out. Real quick before we start, just a reminder that I'm going to be going live right here on the channel at 2 p.m. CST playing Smash Bros. Come tune in, I'd love for you to say hi. Alright, let's get started. Let's start off with our 7th place finishers, Gact and Proto. Both of these names are undoubtedly ones that you recognize, but let's start with Proto first. Proto is a player that we actually only have covered once on the channel before, in my Smash Summit 6 video. That is, if I remember correctly. There may have been another instance, but I can't quite recall right now. Proto came into the event as the 6th seed and started off the event by making it through pools, only dropping one game on the way out. Now in top 192, Proto defeated Sumosuto 3-1 and had a close Game 5 set with Ron. Proto made it into top 48 and continued to defeat more of Japan's biggest names, defeating Karage 3-0. This allowed Proto to make it into winner's quarters against Dormigi, the Min Ditto that we didn't know we needed. In the end, Proto lost to Dormigi 3-0, being knocked down into losers. Here, Proto defeated Paisariman in a close Game 5 set in order to make top 8 losers side. Here, Proto would have to go up against Kamehame.
Kamehame has rage now. This kind of sucks for Proto.
Yeah, but all he needs is
Oh
one
my
Mega
god,
Watt
actually
Nair,
air
and that-
dodging the and outspacing the second
Yeah,
Mega
geez,
Watt
no!
Nair and the
just
that
barely
kills.
hitting.
That's it.
In the end, Proto lost to Kamehame 3-0, being eliminated 7th. Proto has stated that he wants to focus more on NA tournaments, and therefore hasn't gone to much in his home country. But Proto came back after a long break, still able to beat some of the top names in Japan. And once Proto shakes off a little bit of the rust, I think he'll be doing much better than 7th very soon. Now we get to our other 7th place finisher, Gact. Gact is someone we've talked about a few times on the channel, with his excellent 3rd place placement at Maesuma Top 12 being a massive comeback for Gact. While Gact didn't quite place that past finish, Gact still did excellently this weekend, starting off the weekend by getting through pools in his first match of top 192 without dropping a game. However, it was here in top 192 that Gact suffered an extremely early upset loss to Shirayuki, Japan's premier Inkling main and perhaps the best Inkling in the world at this point, in a Game 5 set. Now in losers extremely early, Gact started off his losers run with a 3-0 over Moneybright, before getting an impressive 3-2 win over Atelier and a 3-1 over Karage, and another 3-1 over Luminous. Gact then got one more win, a 3-1 over 3-3 Parenbox, in order to make top 8. Here, Gact would have to go up against Takara, Japan's best Ken. In the end, Gact lost Game 5 to Takara, being eliminated at 7th. Gact went on a great losers run this tournament, and both of his losses were Game 5. Now we get to our 5th place finishers, Takara and Ashimil. And yes, I think it's funny that our 5th places was a Ken and a Ryu. We were just talking about Takara, so let's start with him first. Takara is one of the top 8 that went on a great run, being the 15th seed and outplacing that by a mile. Takara started off the weekend by making it through pools and the first set of top 192, only dropping 2 games in the process. Takara then got an impressive win over Kamehame, the best shulk in the world, in a 3-1 win in order to make top 48. It was here, though, that Takara suffered a 3-0 loss to Yoshidora, Japan's infamous Yoshi player. Now in losers, Takara started off by having a close Game 5 set with Maesuma, Japan's premier Falco player. The Game 5s were not over though, with Takara having another close Game 5 set with Jokibu, one of the Captain Falcon mains that got top 8 and Maesuma top 11. Takara then defeated Snow 3-0 in order to make top 8, before defeating Gact like we just discussed in a close Game 5. It was here that Takara would have to go up against a familiar foe, Yoshidora. In the end, Takara lost to Yoshidora 3-1, better than their first set, being eliminated at 5th. Takara won Game 5 after Game 5 in their bracket run, and got double eliminated by Yoshidora, a rough draw for anyone. Now we get to our other 5th place finisher, Ashimil. Ashimil, unlike Takara, came into the event as the 5th seed, and made it exactly that, in comparison to Takara's great outplacement of their 15th seed. Ashimil started off the weekend by getting through pools without dropping a game, but then had 2 back-to-back Game 5 sets to Subosuto and Torigui, who I think are the 2 biggest hidden bosses in all of Japan right now, but I'm sure there's more of them that you all will tell me about in the comments below. Ashimil then kept going with their streak, defeating Rocky 3-0 and then Snow 3-1 in winners quarters to make winners side top 8. Here, Ashimil went up in winners semis against Miya. Unfortunately for Ashimil, he would lose 3-0 to Miya, dropping down into losers to fight Kamehame.
Ashimil, Kamehame might be kicking himself around though.
Yeah, oh, the dash attack coming through. This is so close.
Can Ashimil clutch it out? Oh my god,
throw?
tries to go for another pivot grab. The Thundaga is going to be very...
Oh, the delay! Oh, with the forward air?
No, he said he took a jump.
Oh, okay.
In the end, Ashimil lost 3-1 to Kamehame, being eliminated at 5th. Ashimil went on another hard-fought run this weekend, and his losses were nothing to be sad about. Now we get to our 4th place finisher, Yoshidora. Yoshidora came into the event as the second seed and started off the weekend by making it through not only pools but also top 192 without dropping a single game on the way. Yoshidora then defeated Hero in winners quarters in a close Game 5 set, moving into winner's side top 8, where Yoshidora went up against Dormigi. In the end, Yoshidora lost to Dormigi 3-1, dropping down into losers, where he defeated Takara like we discussed, before then going up in losers semis against Kamehame.
The up air.
Nice, someone killed the other person! No, that's it! That's gotta be it! And there it is, Kamehame clutching it out above all odds.
Yoshidora would lose to Kamehame in a convincing 3-0, being eliminated at 4th. Now we get to our third place finisher, Kamehame, who we were just talking about. Kamehame came into the event as the 8th seed and had the best losers run of any of our top 8 finishers. Kamehame started off the weekend by making it through pools, only dropping one game on the way. It was here, however, right out of pools, that Kamehame suffered an upset loss to Sylph, who made Sheik. Kamehame had been sent to losers extraordinarily early and kicked off their losers run with a 3-0 over Tamushika, before going on a massive streak of wins, including a 3-2 over YOC, a 3-0 over Tora, a 3-2 over Ron, a 3-1 over Shirayuki, a 3-2 over T, and a 3-0 over Hero in order to make losers side top 8. Kamehame then swept top 8, defeating Proto, Ashimil, and Yoshidora, only dropping a single game to Ashimil. Kamehame had made it all the way to losers finals, where he would have to fight Dormigi. In the end, Kamehame lost to Dormigi 3-1, being eliminated at 3rd. After Kamehame's amazing showing at Battle of BC5, it's great to see that Kamehame is keeping up their good wins, keeping up with Japan's best. Now we get to our final 2 finishers, Miya and Dormigi. Dormigi is the player we mentioned at the start of this video, who went on a massive breakout performance this weekend. But let's save that for a minute and talk first about Miya. Miya came into the event as the first seed, starting off the weekend by sweeping pools and top 192 without dropping a game, all culminating in a win against H4. Miya then defeated Paiseriman 3-1 and 3-3 Parent Box 3-0, with Miya's set with Paiseriman being the only time Miya dropped a single game thus far. Now in winners top 8, Miya defeated Ashimil 3-0, which meant that Miya now had to go up in winners finals against Dormigi, the first time the two would fight at this tournament.
Just all over this guy, bro.
Akola and Miya explained this situation as gahaha.
Ah!
And it's a gahaha situation.
It's a gahaha.
In the end, Miya defeated Dormigi 3-0, moving on into grands on winner's side. Flipping to the other side of Grands, Dormigi came into the event as the 30th seed, having the absolute best SPR of the entire tournament. Dormigi started off by making it out of pools, but having a close Game 5 on the way out, the only of our top 8 finishers to be taken to a decisive game in pools. Dormigi then 3-0'd Kurumis and got an insane upset win over T in a Game 5 set in top 192 in order to make top 48. Dormigi wasn't done with the Game 5s though, defeating Luminous 3-2 and then Proto 3-0 to make top 8 winners side. Dormigi then 3-1'd Yoshidora, but then lost to Mia 3-0 in winners finals. Dormigi dropped down into losers to 3-1 Kamehame to go back up into grand finals, losers side. Mia is a very established player in Japan, and indeed the world by now, but it's easy to forget that Mia is a very young and comparatively a relatively recent talent. Dormigi was even more so, with this tournament undoubtedly being their breakout performance. Both of these players are some of the best representatives of the young talent breaking into the scene of Smash Ultimate, but only one of these players could come out on top.
Oh no, he's
That's
so
it, and
far
that's
out. Yeah. All right. Mia takes it.
Yeah, you
Seeded number one.
He sure did.
Seeded number one, and he sure showed them why he is.
He killed him.
In the end, Mia swept Dormigi in Grands 3-0, becoming your champion of Maesuma Top 13. This means that Mia won this stacked Japanese major, only dropping a single game the entire time to Pai City Men, and not dropping a single game to anyone else. Japan is the one region of the world where players are most likely to go on insane runs and breakout performances, and Dormigi was the perfect example of this at Maesuma Top 13. But the other thing that Japan is known for is their young, dominant prodigies, perhaps one of the best examples being Mia. Maesuma Top 13 represented both of these sides of Japanese Smash, and is perhaps the best tournament for representing the nature of Japanese Smash. That's going to be it for today's video. If you'd liked it, please be sure to subscribe and leave a comment down below. Today I'm going to ask you, who do you think is the best Min main in Japan right now? You've got around 3 or so options, so pick wisely. Real quick, shout out to my Patreon members Seth Laster and FireSkull333, and to my YouTube members Storm Troiper and Loco Soko. If you want to support either of these venues, link is in the description. As I said on Tuesday, I was originally going to cover King of Fields 95 number 3, and I still want to, but the reason I didn't do so today was because I couldn't find any of their VODs on YouTube or on Twitch. I still do want to cover that tournament, so if anyone can tell me where I can find those VODs, then I'll be covering that tournament on Tuesday. Until then, I've been Mr. Mice, and thank you all so much for watching.